It is November 2018, and this is my 100th YouTube video for 2018. Can you believe that? Video number 100. So there's a few things I want to touch on in this video very quickly, but first I have to record for posterity something that happened on the train on the way home from work earlier this evening. Basically, the train that I catch home, I live like 3 stations from the end of the line. So by the time the train gets to my station, the carriage is pretty much empty, pretty much. So there's only maybe, I don't know, say 10 people on the back half of a carriage. So anyway, I'm sitting there and I notice that there's a guy on his iPad or one of these pad devices watching Netflix or something. He's about 10 meters away. And fair enough, that's what people do. I noticed that every single one of us, including me, were on our smartphones or on a tablet. Every single person on my half of the carriage. So anyway, I stopped reading what I was reading on my phone once we got to the station just before mine. And so I started looking around and I noticed all these people on their phones or their tablets. And I noticed this guy watching his Netflix. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, he's about the same age as me. And I was thinking, I wonder what he's watching. Like what? And then I figured, I don't know, probably Netflix or something. Anyway, we get towards my station, and so I stand up to get ready to leave the train, to leave the carriage. And as I'm standing at the door, so I've moved closer to him now. Oh, and by the way, this is what trains look like here in Brisbane. So as I'm standing at the door now, waiting for the train to stop, I notice that this guy, he's not just watching Netflix, he's actually simultaneously playing a game on his phone. I shit you not. So he's got the pad, the iPad thing, in front of him, and his headphones on, watching the Netflix or whatever it was. But at the very same time, right next to that, in his other hand, he is playing, not Tetris, but something similar to Tetris. Or maybe some new version of Tetris, but same idea, like one of these kind of pattern games. So like a simple 2D game. He is simultaneously playing the smartphone game while he is watching the Netflix. Now, this is all happening on a train that is moving from the city, taking everybody home from work, basically. So we live in a time where having access to effectively infinite television, that is not stimulating enough for people these days. Do you understand what I'm trying to explain to you here? This guy has the ability to watch just about anything, okay? Whether it's Netflix or YouTube, he can sit there on his train with this thin little screen device and watch whatever he wants. And he is watching whatever he wants. But whatever he's watching is not enough to keep him amused on a 35 to 40 minute train ride home. Not enough. He has to simultaneously play video games on his handheld phone. Okay? Now, why am I explaining this to you? Why am I sharing this story with you? Well, one of the things that I was reflecting on as I was walking the short distance from the train station to my house, and you might have just heard a train in the background. I live very close to my train station. So on the walk from the train to my house, I was thinking, this is actually symptomatic of the world in which we live. We are so overstimulated, we have so many options with what to do, this magical technology that lets us peer into the world. We can watch whatever we want, wherever we want, even on a train, a relatively slow-moving train, but a train that is moving nonetheless. We can watch whatever we want. And so many options do we have that even good options, even Netflix or whatever YouTube video we're watching, that is not enough. We need something else to keep us paying attention. Such is the pathetic attention span of us today, the average person. And this includes me. I'll admit it, this includes me. Even just a year ago, I could sit there and spend 3 hours typing out a new article for my website. And I wouldn't have to check my emails. I wouldn't have to check the comments on my YouTube channel. I could go 3 hours, and then once I'd finished whatever I was trying to finish, then I would go and check the stimulation, the comments or the emails, whatever. Now I'll be halfway through an article, and for no reason I'll be like, it's almost like a voice is in my head saying, go and check your emails. For no good reason, okay? There's nothing that's urgent that I have to go and read. Okay? Nothing. Trust me. And yet, I just can't help myself. I have to go and check the email. I'm tempted to do it right now. Look, while I've been recording, someone has emailed me. I'm tempted to go and check one right now. So I'm not trying to sit here and judge people. I'm not trying to sit here and say, oh, I'm better than everyone. No, I'm making an observation about us as people today. This is what's happened. This is what's happened, whether we realize it or not. And so once we understand that, it becomes easier to understand why so few people are engaging in remedying the problems. So for instance, suppose we come to learn that high school does not exist to make us more intelligent. It does not exist to help us to learn how to think for ourselves. It doesn't exist to help us to learn how to learn new things by ourselves. That's not what high school is for. High school exists to homogenize us, to dumb us down, to make us stupider, more predictable. This is what high school exists to do. So we can learn this, and we can learn that it's no secret. It's openly admitted for those who are willing to take the time to read. It's all there. Not even a conspiracy. This is a fact. But are we then going to take the time to remedy the situation by learning how to think for ourselves? By learning about the different processes or practices that we can employ to improve our thinking patterns? Are we going to do that? Only if it is hyper-stimulating. Because if it's not hyper-stimulating to do that, we've got other things to do. We've got countless YouTube videos. We've got countless Netflix shows. We've got an almost infinite supply of stimulation. And if it's not stimulating enough, we can just put the video on and play video games at the same time. And so myself, as a content creator who is focused on research-based content, you can see what I'm up against here. This is what I've been up against now for 4 years. When I found information that I thought was worth sharing with people, that I wished other people would share with me, or that other people have shared with me, and I've thought, that's fantastic, that's useful, let me share that with others. This is what I've been up against. I've been up against the hyper-stimulation of our time. And this is not necessarily any single person or even any single group's fault. This is simply the nature of the world today. So I'm not even complaining about it. We're all part of it, I feel. Even myself as a content creator, I've created 100 videos this year. 100, that's just the YouTube videos. That doesn't include the member videos. That doesn't include the articles for my website. Doesn't include it doesn't include a whole heap of other stuff that I've done. So you count up all of the material that I've released into the internet, into this broad, almost infinite thing. I am contributing to the hyperstimulation myself, in the sense that I'm helping to add to the near infinite content that people can consume and do consume. And I mean, this video has been going for what, 10 minutes? Let's see. 8 minutes. So there are going to be people who are watching this who are already bored. They're like, Joe B, what's your point? Get to the point. 8 minutes is too long for a YouTube video, I've learned. If you want a video that's going to go viral, like my Ariana Grande video that has like 600,000 views, 3 minutes, man. 3 minutes is as much time as you will keep people's attention, the average person today. And so originally my plan was to talk about a whole bunch of things in this video, given that it is my 100th video for the year, my 100th YouTube video for the year, but I've pretty much already gone over time. So let's fast forward to a couple of things. If you're interested in remediating, in fixing the problem, which is that school exists to dumb you down, your time in school made you dumber, not smarter. If you want to fix that, how do you go about it? Well, I think there are a number of ways that you can do it, but a way that I think is very useful is to reconsider your fundamental thinking patterns. And one of the frameworks that will allow you to do that is what some people call the trivium. Now, I'm not one of those people who says that, oh, you have to learn the trivium or you're stupid. No. I'm not one of those people who say, oh, the trivium is the key to unlocking everything. No. The trivium is just one framework that people can use to reconsider their own thinking patterns. And what will probably happen to you is what happened to me, which is that when you first start reconsidering your thinking patterns, you realize that they're a complete mess, which is exactly what school exists to do, to make a mess of your thinking patterns. Now, if you think that you can pay attention for just 20 minutes, this video is available for free on my website, where I go through with a whiteboard and markers. I go through the trivium, what it means to me, what it means to other people, why I think it can be useful, and how I think people who take the time to study it can improve their own thinking patterns, and then from there, improve their own lives in many ways. I'm going to link to that in the info box below. What I'm also going to link to, let's go to the main website here. If you go to johnlebon.com and go to Content, Podcasts, MDC Free First Hour, I'm now releasing roughly the first hour of each of the member Discord calls, and I've done 3 with this format so far. So these are all available for free, about an hour long, each one of them, and they're self-contained. So it's not like halfway through the call, it just stops suddenly, and then you have to go and buy the second half. Each of these is self-contained in and of itself. So if you're one of those people who, for whatever reason, refuses to financially support independent content, for whatever reason, it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy and get something out of these calls, because they're each self-contained. So the topics that are included are the Wizard of Oz, technology, nationalism, and the NPC meme. Then in Open House 6, logic and education, NPCs and ego, transhumanism and technology. And then in number 7, meme and magic, mind over matter, and gender realism. So in the last 3 weeks, we've covered a whole range of topics which I think just about anybody who is subscribed to this channel is going to get something out of. This page, the Free First Hour, it's available free. You do need a freeloader membership from johnlebon.com, but that's just requires an email address, that's all. So that's not hard to get. And there's about, like I said, 3 hours of content there. These are all in podcast format though. And for me personally, when I listen to podcasts, I'm usually out walking or exercising at the park, usually. So I'm not also on a smartphone or on a computer. If you're someone who, when you're listening to podcasts, is also playing games or whatever, then you're probably wasting your time with these. These are really meant more for people who use podcasts as something to listen to while they're off walking or exercising, or even driving can be cool to listen to podcasts. But if you're also getting overstimulated by screens or freaking Netflix on the train on an iPad or whatever, you're probably wasting your time. It'll be in one ear, out the other. But I'll link to that in the info box below. So like I said, you can go and check those out, even if you're one of those people who, for whatever reason, does not financially support independent media. So I'll leave it there. Make sure you check the links in the info box below. And let me also say, because this is the 100th video, I've got to say thanks to the people who are making all of this work possible. And there's about 70 people there now, which is more than I ever expected, and also more than some people were telling me was possible. Because there are a lot of people who will tell you, oh, you can't talk about the truth, you can't talk about good ideas, you can't try and talk about the positive side of being alive today, you can't do any of that. They, the people who run the show, will come and shut you down, okay? They will delete your YouTube channel. They will censor your YouTube channel. They will cut you off somehow, yeah? There's no way you'll attract 50, 60, 70 people to a website that talks about thinking, you know, that sits down and people have conversations every week about thinking and about improving your life and about understanding that we are being lied to by the media, but that doesn't make you a victim. It doesn't mean you have to sit around complaining. There are still so many cool things that you can do in this world, and that maybe we should be focusing on the positive side if you want to lead a positive life, all these kinds of things. Even I didn't expect that it would work out this well, but it has worked out amazingly well. So I said to you at the start of this video rather, that I was on a train on the way home from my regular job. I'm only working that job 2 days a week at the moment, and in a couple of months I plan to quit altogether, and I'll be doing what I'm doing right now full time. And I'll be using that extra time to make more videos and more podcasts and more articles for the members of my website exclusively. Now, some people will come back to me and they'll complain and they'll say, oh, JLB, how dare you only release your material to the members of your website, to these about 70 people. How dare you do that? The point I would make is that the 100 videos that I've released to YouTube this year alone, they're all available for free. And if you go through my entire back catalogue, There's hundreds of YouTube videos that I've released for free, talking about things like thinking about thinking, demonstrating that it's a fact, not a conspiracy, but a fact that secondary education exists to homogenize people. It's not a conspiracy, it's a fact. Once you understand that, you can try and remedy the situation, or you can sit around feeling like a victim, and so on and so forth. So I've released more than my fair share of free content, I believe, and I will still continue to release the occasional free video, but I think I've done more than my fair share. And since I have monetized my website, I have released dozens and dozens of pieces of material for the members of the website, and clearly they appreciate it. And if you really appreciate this kind of thing, then you'll sign up as a member. If not to my website, then to somebody else's, whether it's Greg Carlwood's or Jay Dyer or Crow777 or any of these people. Not that I'm necessarily endorsing any one of them in particular. I'm just saying that if you really support this stuff, if you really care about it, you'll sign up to somebody, whether it's my website or somebody else's. If you are literally not contributing a cent to any of these operations, then in my opinion, you have no right to complain about anything, and you should shut your mouth. So that'll do it for today. Once again, a big thanks to all of the supporters of johnlebon.com. There they are all there, about 70. Fantastic stuff. I'm going to be closing the membership options as they currently exist in a couple of weeks. So if you want to get on board with the foundation membership at the discounted rate, you want to do that sooner rather than later. But I'll talk about all of this in some other video at some other point in time because we've already gone way over time. So on the 1st of November 2018, let me say thanks again to everybody who is supporting johnlebon.com. Make sure you check the links in the info box below. This video available for free. Useless to you if you need to be overstimulated. It's just me and a whiteboard and some whiteboard markers going through the process of thinking about thinking, and also the free podcasts as well. They'll be linked to in the info box below. So that'll do. Until next time, you guys take care of yourselves, and yeah, 100 videos. Boy, does the time go quickly. What a ride. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Goodbye.